Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called. Go back to Univision. Go ahead.
You cannot deport 11 million.
Go ahead.
You cannot deport 11 million people. You cannot build a 1900 wall. You cannot deny citizenship to children in this
Sit
country.
down, please.
Those ideas,
You weren't called.
I'm a reporter and don't touch me, sir. Don't touch
Go.
me, sir. You cannot touch me. I have the right to ask a question. I have the right to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
That's Jorge Ramos
Hi,
of
Chip,
Univision.
yes.
He's being escorted out of the room.
It's not about you.
It's not about.
Get out of my country. Get out.
This is
not
my,
about you.
I'm a U.S. citizen too.
Well, whatever. No, Univision. No, it's not about you.
It's not about you. It's about the United States.
The tape shows that Mr. Trump looked over to the security guard before the guard came over to you. Do you think he was directing the security guard to take you out?
It is very clear with his body language that he was giving orders. And I did wait for my turn. You know how it is in those press conferences? Two reporters before me asked a question, and then I said, I have a question on immigration. He didn't say anything. I stood up. I started my question. He didn't like my question, and when he didn't like my question, then he motioned so the one security guard would come where I was, and then threw me out.
Donald Trump facing new criticism for something he did on the campaign trail last night in South Carolina while defending his debunked claim that he saw thousands of Muslims celebrate the collapse of the Twin Towers here in New York. He appeared to mock a reporter with a disability. Take a look.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
That reporter he is talking about is Serge Kovaleski, who now works for the New York Times. As you can see right there, he suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms. A Times spokesman says they find it outrageous that Trump would ridicule the man's appearance.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice. These are people who only believe in jihad. They don't want our system. They don't want our system. And have no sense of reason or respect for human life. They have no respect for human life. So they have no respect for human life. So we have to do something. Now,
the race for the White House, Donald Trump infuriating so many tonight, this time taking on a new target, John McCain. Trump saying the Vietnam vet is no war hero. The reaction immediate and fierce. Nearly every single Republican in the race pouncing, one demanding Trump drop out. But so far, Trump is not backing down. ABC's Ron Claiborne starts us off tonight with this political firestorm.
At a candidates forum in Iowa, Donald Trump at it again, this time ripping into Senator John McCain.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Now Trump's attack on McCain, his party's 2008 nominee, and a Vietnam veteran who spent more than 5 years in a POW camp, has given them an opening to go after him.
Donald Trump owes every American veteran, and in particular John McCain, an apology.
yeah, go ahead.
As you know, 53,000 Hispanics turn 18 years of age in the country every month. Born in the United States of voting age, 54 million plus Hispanics.
Right.
Many feel that what you said when you said that the people across the border are rapists and murderers.
No. We're talking about illegal immigration, and everybody understands it. And you know what? That's a typical case. Wait. That's a typical case of the press with misinterpretation. They take a half a sentence. They take a half a sentence. By the way, they take a half a sentence and they take a quarter of a sentence. They put it all together. It's a typical thing. And you're with Telemundo, and Telemundo should be ashamed. And I'll tell you something. What's really going to be fun? I'm right now suing Univision for $500 million. And I want to tell you, we're going to win a lot of money because of what they do. So I want to just, again, I want to thank you. No, you're finished.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie
several...
O'Donnell.
For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure.
Certainly, I don't have a lot of respect for Megyn Kelly. She's a lightweight. And, she came out there reading her little script and trying to, be tough and be sharp. And when you meet her, you realize she's not very tough and she's not very sharp. She's Zippo.
Well, let's talk about Megyn Kelly because you brought her up. She did push you, pushed a lot of people. But what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. She gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her wherever, but she was, in my opinion, she was off base. And by the way, not in my opinion, in the opinion of hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter, because it has been a brutal day. In one way, a great day for Fox, and another day in the Twitter sphere, it's been very bad because she's been very badly criticized.
Let's take a look
She's a lightweight. I couldn't care less about her. In fact, you're competing against her, and I'm doing your show. That's interesting.
You have been tweeting and you've been retweeting some pretty harsh language, Mr. Trump. So let's go through some of them. You said, wow, Ed Megyn Kelly really bombed tonight. People are going wild on Twitter. Funny to watch. Then you retweeted someone who wrote, Fox viewers give low marks to Bimbo at Megyn Kelly. Will consider other programs. And then one of your top aides retweeted this, Mr. Trump, boycotting Megyn Kelly at Real Donald Trump. We can gut her. A lot of people are wondering about this language when it comes to women. Do you worry that that kind of talk might drive some women voters away?
But how about we do this with CNN? I won't do the debate unless they pay me $5 million, all of which money goes to the wounded warriors or go to vets. Seriously. I would love to do it. I would love, okay. Let me give you the bad news. So what will happen is they'll say, oh, Trump is chicken. Well, I've done 4 of them, and according to every online poll, I won every one of them. Now, when I turn on the television and I listen to these, the talking heads who are not smart people at all, they call them elite. My education's better than any of them. I'm smarter than they are. Many of the people in the room are smarter than they are.
First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls. And how he got up here, there's far too many people.
I kind of have to laugh when I think, sounds like a non sequitur. He was asked whether or not he would be capable and it would be in good hands to be in charge of the nuclear weapons, and all of a sudden there's a sideways attack at me. I think that really goes to the judgment. Do we want someone with that kind of character, that kind of careless language, to be negotiating with Putin? Do we want someone like that to be negotiating with Iran? I think really there's a sophomoric quality that is entertaining about Mr. Trump, but I am worried. I'm very concerned about having him in charge of the nuclear weapons, because I think his response, his visceral response to attack people on their appearance, short, tall, fat, ugly, my goodness, that happened in junior high. Are we not way above that? And would we not all be worried to have someone like that in charge of the nuclear arsenal?
Mr. Trump.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
But Jake,
I want to